Russ.
Hello, my name is Sean Poliseno, and welcome to the real world of real estate. Thank you for joining us again. And we're just wrapping up the week with a few things that I wanted to cover, kind of recap what we did this week, and also, add a few new pieces. So we're going to talk today about, the some of the struggles that new agents or even agents that have been in the business a while have a challenge with is communicating what's going on in the current market. So I'm going to share with you a couple of resources that I use on our team to be able to share with people the best way to build their conversation around real estate, meaning around buying a home, selling a house, and investing in real estate. Why should a client think about buying now versus waiting? And that's a common one that we get is people are on the fence waiting for the market to improve. Well, what happens if it doesn't improve? And what's happening in the market, that there are other variables that could affect the cost of home buying, like the financing, interest rates, the cost of money. So it's not all about the home and what the value does. It's also about what the money costs for you to borrow. And just to give you an example of how that can impact the payment, if you were to take a $500,000 purchase and at a current interest rate, and increase that rate by 1.5% and calculate the payment. So in other words, the interest rate goes from 3 to 4.5, and look at the monthly payment compared to if you were to take the $500,000 purchase price and deduct 15% off of that 500,000 as if market prices went down by 15%. And I hate to tell you that if you compare the two payments, the payment is higher on the interest rate increase of 1.5%. Meaning, if you compared it to the interest rate going up versus the prices going down, the interest rate impacts that payment higher than it does the prices going down. And a lot of people don't realize that. So one of the places, and again, before I jump into this, I've skipped a step here. Let me share my screen and just talk to you a little bit about the show that we're putting forward. Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. We're doing it a little bit later today, but typically at 2 p.m. We are putting on the real world of real estate. And what that looks like is a show that is, dealing with the real things that real estate agents go through. How to lead generate, how to deal with clients. What do I say to clients? Where do I find my new clients if I don't have any clients? What are some of the resources that agents are using to find business today? And so the real world of real estate comes off of my idea of what one of the first reality shows was called The Real World. And it basically was the producers had cameras scattered around a house, and we got to spectate while the people lived in the house, and we got to see the ongoing, the day-to-day things that went on in the house. And so I'm going to bring to you the content of what agents are dealing with today. I'm an agent myself. I sell between 35 and 45 homes a year. I've been doing this for 16 years, since 2005. And I have a team that I mentor and coach and train that are new agents and experienced agents learning and actually out there selling real estate. So we're in multiple different states. We're doing business here in Southern California. We've got pretty much San Diego to the north part of LA County covered, as well as Dallas, Texas, and Boston, Massachusetts as well. So you can always call into the show, 818-338-8787, when you find us live on any one of our channels, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Clubhouse. Clubhouse is audio only, but the rest of it is video and audio. You can always call in and be a part of the show when you see us live at 818-338-8787. This one that you're seeing today is recorded, so you obviously can't call in. If you'd like to schedule with me for a private one-on-one coaching session, you can do that at Calendly. That's calendly.com/Sean Poliseno. I'm a coach with Icon Coaching. You can check out any one of our coaching programs at iconcoaching.com, where my business partner, Sean Kokoska, who owns the company, and I work with many agents throughout the country on recruiting agents to their brokerages, as well as helping agents sell more real estate. And we have a program called Accelerated Breakthrough that will help an agent get $1 million in business, which is about $30,000 in commission in the first 90 days of their real estate career by taking the Accelerated Breakthrough course, which is lots of companies are using the training that Sean Kokoska is putting out there. And we have several coaching programs as well. So that's iconcoaching.com if you're interested in any one of our real estate or recruiting coaching programs. Okay, so again, here's the link you can see on the screen if you're interested in continuing to tune into our shows. 2 p.m. Pacific, although today we didn't do that, but Monday through Friday, that's where you should find us. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you here is one of the resources I use for finding out what's going on in the mortgage market and what's going on in the housing market. And you can see Black Knight, and the website is blackknightinc.com, and you can click on the industry that you're interested in. If you're interested in software and technology or data analytics, and go to industry here, and we're looking at the real estate industry, real estate professionals, MLS, title, and appraisers. So if you go to real estate appraisers, under data and analytics, go to data reports, then you find here the full mortgage monitor, which when you click on that report, you can look here and see what is going on in the mortgage industry. Like if you wanted to know, compared to the foreclosure rates or the default rates on the 30-year mortgage this year compared to what it was in 2008, this is where you'll find that data. And you can see here and give you the idea that whether rates are trending upwards or trending downwards. They put all this data out here. Appreciation is also found here. What properties are what they're finding in foreclosure, the foreclosure market, the default rate, how many people go into default before they get foreclosed on. Today, you find it in around the 2% range. And back in 2008, when the mortgage crash happened, it got up to as high as 10%. So that just shows you, and you can look at this by market as well, as how many people are purchasing, how many people are refinancing. You can do that. So this is a good place for data if you like digging into the data. But if it's about your real estate, conversation, knowing some of these numbers will help you to be able to let people know that the average appreciation in LA County is about 6.5% year over year. And that's a 50-year average, where compared to today in the last 12 months, we've seen above 20% appreciation. So why is it so high? And then, the low inventories is typically the reason, or what we're quoting today is why the mortgage prices or average price of homes is going up. So another place that I like to use for just to help out an agent, and this is just, if you really want to get some of the reasons why buyers buy and why sellers sell, a great program that you can watch is HGTV's Love It or List It. And I like this show because it takes and we'll watch just a quick clip here, but it takes a real estate agent, who is the gentleman you see on the right of the screen, and the gal on the left there, you see she is actually a interior designer and a general contractor. And so what she does is she takes the folks, and the folks on the left there are actually making a decision. Do we go out and buy a home that suits our current family's needs, or do we keep our home and renovate it? And so they set a budget with the gal on the left, and she gets to spend that budget, and she actually goes through and renovates the home based upon what the owners say they want. At the same time, the gentleman on the right takes the homeowners on the left out and actually shows them properties that are currently on the market and that fit, and I apologize, I'm not looking at the camera there, that fit what they are looking for in a home. Does it need more bedrooms? Is it bigger? Does it have a pool? It has all the things that they want. And then at the end of the show, they get to make a decision. I just moved that over there. They get to make a decision of whether they should keep their home, which means love it, or whether they should list it. And that means buy the home that they showed them. And so let's just watch a quick clip here of what that looks like.
Exactly how much one of my 7 channels
Let
is
me
currently
skip this
earning.
advertisement
So as you
real
see
quick.
right over here on my look at this entrance. There's a bridge.
There's a bridge.
After you. Wow.
This is a big house.
Let's go this way.
It's nice sometimes to have rooms that are not fully open concept to everything else.
I agree.
You see, this is where the whole separate rooms doesn't work.
Great office.
They have an interesting collection of lovely things. This is huge.
See, look at the big, huge dining room.
Oh,
This can't be the master, though. I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, it's got a bathroom, but careful with this railing. I don't know how secure it is.
wow.
I don't imagine you would spend money down here.
It's a basement. That's all it is. That's a problem with 8-foot ceilings. When you have a ceiling fan, it feels like it's going to chop your head off.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, it's really actually just peeling paint. It's not the end of the world. Oh, this is utterly miserable.
I'm impressed that there's second floor laundry.
Okay.
Now, this is the master bedroom.
This is lovely.
Ooh, 2 walk-in closets.
I assume it's a master ensuite, and it is.
Sure it is. It's an interesting house.
So this house seems to me like a treasure.
I would say the house is vintage, not a treasure. It is very
Our
old.
furniture's the treasure.
Now, I've done an evaluation on your home. Current value is $735,000. So what is that list?
We need an open and updated kitchen. I would like a big dining area, at least 4 bedrooms. We need a main floor master because we are not getting any younger. I would need a house with a great entertaining area, and finally, a better laundry area.
You got second floor laundry. That's pretty good.
And it's got its issues.
Yes.
But you tell me what your list is.
Okay. Renovate the kitchen, open up the dining room, create a main floor master suite, add a main floor powder room, renovate the laundry space, renovate the upstairs hall bathroom, and finally update the basement stairs.
All right, what is my budget?
Well, I think at this point we would like to hear what you can do before we officially set a budget.
I'll do what I can do, and we'll see where that lands, okay?
That sounds fine. Thank you.
Hillary prepares to share her ideas for the house with construction manager Hank.
This is the laundry room for this entire house.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Yeah, we got to do something about this.
And here's where I think we will move the laundry room to.
Okay, let me see.
All right, so this was the old master. This is the space that I want to turn into the new laundry room.
Hillary meets with Caroline and Van to give them her plan and find out what her final budget will be.
Let's talk about 180.
That's a fair budget.
I think she could make this house really reach its potential with that amount of money.
Hillary and Hank trim back on her design to stay on budget, while David tries to get Van and Caroline to leave their home.
It's got everything that you guys need, and I think beyond.
It's very nice, very open, very modern. I like it.
Then the kitchen just keeps going and going.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, it sure does.
Right?
Yeah.
Tons of windows.
I like the white cabinets.
Your master bedroom.
Wow.
Oh.
It's huge.
Plenty of space for whatever you guys need. Master bath,
All right.
which has your double sinks, has the
Wow.
clawfoot tub,
She's always wanted a tub like that,
Yeah.
freestanding.
Yeah.
and the walk-in closet.
Oh.
Okay, now,
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
so
This
you've
is
got
great.
a screened-in porch.
Yeah.
You've got this incredible deck. You got the party lights,
And
and you've got that pool.
a swimming pool,
He
Caroline.
always wanted a pool.
Yeah, but I would have never asked for one.
So how do you think Buzzy would feel about his
Oh,
situation
he
here?
would love having his own area.
And then your daughter is in here with her own little bathroom and ensuite. Don't
Yeah.
tell me she wouldn't love this.
Yeah,
She
it's
would
a
love
really
it.
good size.
Great storage, her own bathroom. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
This is great.
Oh.
It's got a lot of options that your basement doesn't have.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Yeah. It's not as scary as our basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Home office.
Home office
This
with a
is
view
great.
of the pool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It'd be hard to get work done.
Caroline and Van are ready to see their home.
Look at you two, beaming.
We're excited. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love the colors.
It's your furniture.
Yes.
We've just updated the fabric. Your new kitchen.
Oh my gosh, and the island is giant. There will be room for everybody to stand around the island while I work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, that is fabulous.
It's finished.
Wow,
Makes all the difference in
that
the
is
world.
so nice. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Remember, we gave up the master bedroom,
Yes.
but it really, I believe, works.
It's still a large room though.
Wow.
Wow.
You did do a good job in here, Hillary.
Oh my. Wow.
Now, this is impressive.
Man, this is so nice. Look at this giant countertop here. Oh.
Oh, this looks great.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, I do
Mom?
like it.
Even though it's upstairs.
Even
Well,
though
you
it's
would
upstairs.
never have had a room this big
No.
downstairs.
Right. Oh,
Wow.
it is beautiful. Wow.
Great job. Are you getting weepy?
Yes, I knew I was going to. I mean, this is amazing. I know what I want to do.
Decision made?
Yes. Was not an easy one.
And are you going to love it?
Or are you going to list it?
We are going to love it.
What? The pool, the basement,
I know.
finish.
We've always loved this house, and with these upgrades, we just
Yeah.
can't see ourselves moving.
It was our dream house before the renovation. We can add on the outdoor living spaces maybe later. Yeah.
Ultimately, Hillary, you did too good of a job here.
So that's what I'm talking about. So that show really gives you a great perspective of what your client is actually, you know, the dilemma they're in. They either own their home if they're, if let me shut that. Oops, sorry about that. If they are renting, obviously they have a perspective of what they want. But if they own their home and they're considering selling and you've got them out looking at homes as a buyer, you can see the dilemma there. I also wanted to show you this show because it gives you a great perspective of what the, you know, the vision. If the gentleman, as he walked through the agent, and he was showing the different points about the property, pointing out the things that were on the list that they said they wanted in a new home, and that this home that he had picked out for them to see actually had those, and he checked off the boxes of what it had. And even had some things that they didn't even actually consider. You know, you could also see in the little video clip there of what they like about the colors, and you hear the buyer actually talk about the things they like. So I think when you're walking your clients around, it's easy to have a script or a dialogue to be able to read and know what to say, but you have to just put yourself in their shoes, imagining that if you were buying this home, what are some of the things that you might think that they might like? And then also listen to your client about what they're saying they like, because then you could turn around and repeat that back when you see it in properties. And don't be afraid to point out the negative things that they may not realize, because they're in the moment, they're looking at it, and you want them to feel like you have their best interest in mind. And that's the best way to do that, is to point out things that maybe they don't realize. Like, hey, did you see those power lines that are behind the house? Or did you hear that freeway? That could be an issue when you go ahead and try to sell your home. Okay. So I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation and kind of recap the things we talked about this week. Lead generation. Lead generation is the most important thing. There's 5 income generating activities that every real estate agent needs to focus on. And the first one is lead generation. And that's you actually picking up the phone and making contacts. Okay. A contact is a face-to-face, voice-to-voice conversation about real estate, or if you ask for a referral. So lead generation is where you set time aside in your schedule and you block out the time to make calls. Maybe you're going to call your sphere of influence, people that you know and that already trust you, and find the ones that are thinking about it, because you don't want to be a secret agent. The worst thing you can be is a secret agent to somebody that you know that is going to go out this weekend and actually stop in at an open house, or going to call somebody to say, hey, could you tell me what it would cost to sell my house? And you want to be the one they call, and they just don't know that you're in real estate because you haven't ever brought it up. So your sphere of influence is definitely somebody that you should be calling. And then there's generally 2 or 3 other other strategies that you can employ. I shared with you this week on how to generate low-cost Facebook leads. That could be one where you actually call a steady flow of leads that are coming in. We also talked about calling Google pay-per-click leads. That's where somebody goes onto Google and says Westlake Village Home and pops up, and your landing page comes to the top because you're a sponsored advertiser, and it's called pay-per-click, where they click, you pay a small fee, they end up on your landing page, and they end up calling you to help them find a home. Okay. What other methods did we talk about? We talked about for sale by owners. Okay. Calling for sale by owners. That is somebody that's got their home on the market. Okay. And they are selling it. I'm sorry, their home is not on the market with an agent. It's on the market by themselves being the agent. And they put it into Zillow. There's a number of realtor.com. They put it into a number of different websites, hotpads.com, different websites that they posted on. They put it on Craigslist. Yes, people still do use Craigslist. And what ends up happening is they're getting the calls. They're fielding all the clients. They're potentially working with a buyer that's not pre-qualified. That's a problem. They're getting investors that think since they're saving commission, they'll be willing to negotiate their price. The number one reason why a for sale by owner decides to go try to sell the home themselves is because they think they can save the commission. Well, if an investor is asking them to discount the price because they're not paying commission, and they actually do, how do they save the commission, right? They really don't. It's kind of a myth. They also tend to get preyed upon by buyers that can't get pre-qualified, because agents like myself won't work with them because we've asked them the right questions. Have you been pre-qualified by a lender? How much down payment? Show me proof of the down payment. And for sale by owners don't do that. So here's the problem, that most for sale by owners don't value what real estate agents do, and they think they can save the money and they don't want to hire somebody. So when you approach those sellers, you have to approach them as a problem presentation. Okay. Sean Kokoska's mother, Diana Kokoska, took over 160 listings in her last year before she retired. Many of those were for sale by owners, and she would call them and she would set up an appointment to go preview the house for one of her buyers in her database of buyers. She would go over, she would meet the seller face to face. So the appointment she's setting wasn't to list the property. It was to come over and preview the house because potentially she has a buyer that she's working with. And that's what the premise was. Many for sale by owners will set an appointment with you for this reason. They won't cooperate with you and pay you a buyer's agent. So she would obey a buyer's cooperation commission. So she would ask them, are you willing to cooperate with agents, brokers? And they would say yes. So she would come over, and in that moment that she was there, she would walk through the home, point out the things that she thought were good and potentially a problem. And she would do what's called a problem presentation, where she would verbally tell stories. Through storytelling, she would verbally present some problems to the for sale by owner. And if the for sale by owner seller gave her any indication that potentially they were ready to maybe list, then she would set an appointment. If they didn't, then she would just be there and let them know that she could be a resource. One of the ways she could be a resource is by holding an open house for the seller. Most for sale by owner sellers don't hold open houses because they don't even know where to begin. They also are nervous about talking to the buyers. So if you offer to do a free open house for them, that could be a way for you to get leads and for them to potentially sell their home. And you're going to do this by only taking the buyer's agent commission that they already told you they were willing to pay. So this is a for sale by owner strategy where you could offer to pay for marketing. You could offer to run Facebook advertising, targeted demographic advertising, which is a fancy way for saying Facebook. And you could offer to do an open house. So there's things you could offer to do without a commission on the listing side that would put you in further and deeper relationship with that for sale by owner. So we talked about for sale by owners this weekend, and that's a strategy that you could employ. That and the way you get the information on how to call them is you literally go onto Zillow, and there's a section called Make Me Move, as well as pull up your local area and pull up the for sale by owners. There's a filter that shows for sale by owners, and the contact information is the for sale by owner contact information. Okay. You could also go to a data provider like Mojo. Okay. Mojo has two things. They have the data for sale by owners. They also have the data for expireds. They also have what's called a dialer. Okay. And I will do a whole segment on the Mojo dialer, but mojosells.com is the website. You could use this dialer to make more efficient phone calls, meaning more calls in an hour than you could if you were dialing the phone by hand. Typical hand dialing gets you anywhere from 3 to 5% calls per hour, contacts per hour, meaning conversations per hour. Using a dialer, the Mojo dialer has 3 lines that dial simultaneously. Using a dialer like this, you could actually get upwards of 25 conversations per hour. So it makes you much more efficient. The more people you talk to, I told you yesterday, real estate is a numbers game. It's not your job to make insane people sane, stupid people smart, or unhappy people happy. It is your job to find smart, happy, sane people that want to sell their house with you today. That's the mantra that you should have in real estate, especially with expireds and with for sale by owners. So Mojo is a great tool to use to make more efficient, to get the data to where you can just block out some time, call into the dialer, and the dialer dials for you. You don't even have to leave a voicemail. You hit a button, you pre-record a voicemail, you hit a button, and it drops the voicemail and goes on to the next call. So while that voicemail is being left, you're actually on to the next call already. Super efficient way to do it. And that tool will be used for sale by owners and expireds. Okay. So we got Facebook, we got for sale by owner, we got expireds. We talked about open houses this weekend and doing a world-class open house. We're talked about this week, where this weekend, if you wanted to do a world-class open house, it's already Friday. So you could set up Sunday, your open house on Sunday, put it on realtor.com, put it on Zillow, and do all dimensions. Place a Facebook ad that advertises a brand awareness ad for your open house and run that in a radius of your open house. Okay. You'll pick up renters, possibly. You'll pick up buyers that are thinking about buying that live in the area. You could go out a larger area. Instead of 15-mile radius, you could go out 30, 40 miles if you wanted to and get a large sampling of people. But I kind of like to say smaller sampling for brand awareness. Okay. You could door knock around that. So Saturday before the open house, you go out and you spend 3 or 4 hours and you door knock the 200 homes around that. And you could create a simple flyer right in the MLS to do that. Okay. If you wanted to do it a little bit further out, you could actually make phone calls. Where do you get the data to call people? You actually use the Mojo dialer for that. There's a neighborhood search tool that you can use to get any phone numbers around a neighborhood to circle prospect or prospect around an open house that you're holding, or a just listed, or a just sold. That's called the neighborhood search tool, and you can find it on mojosells.com, a dialer. Okay. We also talked this week about farming. Okay, and that's what I'm going to wrap up with here on the farming. Farming, doing the 4 dimensions of farming. That's where you actually go, you go out and actually mail to the farm. You select the right farm using certain demographics, like how many homes sell in that neighborhood. So if you pick 1,000 homes in a certain neighborhood or 500 homes in a certain neighborhood, you want to look to see how many sold in the last 12 months, how many sold in the last 2 years, and make sure that there's at least a 4 or 5% turnover in that farm. The other thing you want to look for is the dominant agent. And the way you do that is you pull up all the solds for the last 2 years and see if there's any agent that has more than 1 or 2 solds in that neighborhood. Why do we do just 1 or 2? 1 or 2, because if an agent gets a listing in there, there's a chance that they got another listing nearby within the first few weeks of that listing. We call that phenomenon just listed or just sold, because a lot of times when a sign pops up in the yard in front of your listing, a neighbor was also thinking about selling, and you end up getting that listing. Okay, so if one agent has 1 or 2, then that's typically what that means. If they have 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 20%, which is what, 40 homes potentially sold, then they are probably already farming in that area. And you may reconsider a different area, because why go up against that stiff competition, somebody that's been farming for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and here you come in and you're trying to take market share from that agent. So it's better to find a neighborhood that doesn't have that dominant agent. And the way you do that is right in your MLS by pulling up the closed in that exact area of homes, using a map search to pick that exact area that you plan on farming, meaning the exact streets, and then coming up with that data. You can also use a tool through Fidelity called Fidelity National Title has a tool called it's called Dynamic Farm. Sorry, I forgot the name there. Dynamic Farm. And Dynamic Farm, you build the same farm using a plotter on a map. It's called a map search, and it gives you how many records, how many have sold. It gives you all the data that we just asked you to look up at the snap of a finger. Okay. It also gives you all the names and the phone numbers, and the title. Your title manager, your title rep, can probably filter out any agents that own in there and any absentee sellers. Absentee seller means that the title records show that there's a different phone number for the tax address as the property address, which means that the tax bill is probably going to the owner, and that means he's probably renting it out. We call those absentee owners. So there's some of the most common. So you got open houses, you've got for sale by owners, you've got expireds, you've got Facebook targeted demographic advertising, and you've got Google AdWords. If you're interested in knowing more, a one-on-one free coaching call to break down any one of these, you can schedule with me at Calendly, calendly.com/Sean Poliseno. You can find the spelling of my name right on the channel where you are seeing this video. I hope you're enjoying the content. We look forward to continuously bringing you content. This is the first week in the books, or in the can, as they say in Hollywood. And just great, just super excited to help people. And if you're interested in knowing more about the brokerage that I work with called eXp Realty, you can also reach out to me for that. My email address is seanpoliseno@gmail.com or sean@polisenorealestate.com. You can also schedule with me on that calendar link if you're interested in joining a team. We have a team throughout the country in several places. We've got Florida coming on board. We've got Northern California coming on board. And we've got potentially Oregon coming on board. So open to trying to get business, trying to have a team member in all 50 states. And my phone number, if you can always want to contact me, is 818-338-8787. Super excited. Glad you joined us. And we will see you Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, right here, live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Clubhouse. Okay? Have a great weekend. We will see you later.